every night is a loose one. And every flight, you know that I put the crew on. You say that I drop, well then tell me what you've done. Still in my winning phase, yeah, I've been away. Are you entertained? Yeah. The God of me, that's what I'm constantly summoning. I love the climb, I don't care where the summit. It's funny when people be saying I peak, retire. My parents, they live at the beach.
All right, welcome back to the Grind and Shine Project. I'm one of your hosts, Anthony Abbruzzese, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a solo show. So today what I wanted to talk about was customer service and customer experience. I think there's two very different approaches when it comes to this, whole end of business. And I think it's very important to, demystify or make sure that we're like separating the two of them, really, not even demystifying, just separating the two of them. So what I wanted to do was walk through why customer service is important, but really focusing on the experience of the customer and what they're actually seeing, experiencing, going through when they are working with your company, our company, anybody's company. So basically, what I wanted to do was walk through this and say that, like, customer service, what do we usually think of customer service? We think you call the you call the line, the helpline, and you get nowhere, and they just kind of go through the motions of trying to calm you down if there's a problem on a job, or if there's a problem with, like, if you order a product or something like that. You call up the hotline and you basically wait on hold and you get nowhere, and maybe you get a return out of it, or maybe they exchange your item or something like that. Like, that's technically that's customer service, but on the other end of it, customer experience of that call is horrendous. But then you go and walk into somewhere like Costco and you have an incredible customer experience. No matter what happens, that's why people love shopping there, because they have an incredible customer experience there. You walk in, you have this wide array of options to choose from at great prices, and then if you have any problem with anything, you're able to go back in there and take care of it, whether it's a return or an exchange or whatever. Like, hey, this thing broke, and they don't even give you any qualms. They just it's an easy, seamless, smooth experience. That's why people love shopping there. That's why they've grown so much. Part of why, I'm not going to say that's the only reason, part of why they've grown so much. But when you have to, like, think about that when you're talking about your own and thinking about your own business or your own customer experience. And that's what we like to think about here all the time. We like to focus on servicing the customer. Customer service would be, in our minds, where the guys go out into the field, do the job, and do it really well. That's servicing the customer. That's just, getting out there, doing what they got to do. Good. The experience that we would like to provide on top of that is something of making sure that they feel totally comfortable, and that we are not just going out there trying to push sales or make a sale. And, I think customer service is, I'm just looking at my notes here, it's just by the book. It's just, okay, you got to go through this. And that's important to make sure that you're hitting all of the points that maybe are important to you as a company or as a team. You want to make sure that you're hitting all the important things, the stuff that, like, really matters. Maybe you've seen it come up in the past as a problem, and you want to make sure that you're addressing these things to ensure that you're providing at least a good experience for people as you're walking through it. So you're servicing the customer. You're making sure that at least their basic needs are met. That's, to me, customer service. You're just making sure their basic needs are met. They get through the sale, they get through the experience, they get through the installation or service or whatever you're providing to them. Maybe you're installing maybe you're hanging a TV, or you're installing some lights, you're an electrician. They just get through it, and they don't think anything different. Like, oh yeah, I have a guy. He's he's nice, he's good, whatever. But this is where you could separate yourself by providing a a really, really good experience. And I think it comes down to ultimately caring and building a relationship with your customer. You want to make sure that you're actually caring about what the other person needs, and then above and beyond, exceeding their expectations on what is actually taking place during your installation, your service, your phone call, whatever it is. So you want to go in there and you want to make sure that even from the first interaction with your client, that you're able to just try and make a friend. Go out there and talk to them and find out what their needs are. What do they need you to do? And try and fulfill that need. Don't try and sell the biggest, most expensive, high profit thing you have, because that's not, to me, that's not business. That's just being a pushy salesman. And you want to make sure that your experience that differentiates you from your other competitors or anything like that is getting out there and making great relationships and providing an exceptional product at the end of it. Now, it is an emotional, there is an emotional component to this where you're working through and you're making sure, because you at some point, I know how I do things is I like to go out, talk to the customer, make sure that we can fulfill their basic needs and get down to it's getting down to the root of their problem. You want to make sure that your experience is centered around solving their problem. Because if you could solve their problem and you can do it well and you could do it seamlessly, then they're going to always look to refer you, come back to you, make sure that your name is top of mind. And that's what I like to do when I go to a project. I always like to make sure that we're addressing what the problem is, why it's causing them pain, and how best we can solve that based on the information that they're providing me. I don't want to go in there and, for us, I don't want to go and recommend a polished concrete surface when, they really need an LVT floor, or I don't want to recommend an epoxy when they really need carpet. If you're in an office environment and you want to have an industrial look, but you have a lot of people talking on the phone all the time, maybe a hard surface floor is not really what you need. Maybe I can help guide you and say, hey, maybe you want to put some carpet here, or, because I know that your acoustics is important to you and you want to make sure that your people can hear on the phone and not hear this massive echo or something like that. We have a conversation. We can talk and work our way through what your initial design is, and maybe we incorporate things that you want, obviously, but also at the same time being able to accommodate what you need as, for us as a business, because we're commercial. So we're going into mostly office spaces, warehouses, commercial kitchens, stuff like that. So we need to make sure that we're hitting a couple of different points based on what the person needs. I wouldn't walk into a commercial kitchen and recommend doing, polished concrete just because it's hard. You want to make sure that you're giving the customer the experience that because maybe they don't know, and you have to ultimately have a conversation with them and care about what they're saying and listen to what they're saying in order to spit out what they need as a solution. Hey, you've told me this, and that. I can provide you a solution for this, and that in this form. And doing that shows that you're actually thinking about what they need and then laying out why they need this, why you think that this would be the most effective solution. Also, I think the other end of this is keeping it simple. I don't think that going into a space and, if they need, if it's a warehouse and you're going to put down 7 different kinds of epoxy and polish and, different sheens of polished concrete just because you think it works, I don't really think that that's necessarily a good thing. If you get too in the weeds on this, I think keeping things as simple as possible, but as effective as possible is where, the sweet spot. And I think that, also just like breaking it down for people, because I don't expect anybody to know everything that I might know about flooring or about polished concrete or, LVT or carpet or whatever. Like, I don't expect them to know that. They don't live it every day. They're living their business. So it's your job to provide the experience of actually walking them through it. Here's this, here's that. This is what this product offers. This is what that product offers. And you want to make sure that you're walking them down the path of possible solutions and then weaving in what you think might work, getting more information, seeing what might work, and then allowing them to ultimately make the decision so that they feel good at the end of the day and not feeling like you tried to sell them on this high ticket item for no reason. I think that's really, really ultimately very important, is allowing somebody, and I think that's just how I would like to be treated. Like, if I was going to shop for, I don't know, a TV, I would want the person that's, going to sell me the TV to just be knowledgeable, walk me through, and like, not try and sell me the TV that's like this, something I don't need. Like, if I don't need an 8K OLED television, I'm just watching Netflix on it, like, and I'm not really looking for that. Like, I can't really tell the difference. If I, as a consumer, can't really tell the difference between 4K, 8K, OLED, QLED, all this kind of stuff, then I would like to believe that somebody wouldn't necessarily push me to do that unless I'm actively looking for the most top of the line, high end product. And then you could do that too. Like, you just want to treat somebody with respect and not worry about how much commission you're going to make, because servicing, to me, your experience wants to be a positive one, making that allowing your customer to experience that they've made a good decision. Customer service, on the other end, to me, is like the actual installation, the sending of the contracts, the if there's like a, I mean, it can all be tied into experience too, because even if you make like a mistake on a job and you can make it better, then, like fix it, then you can tie in experience to that as well and make it a really good experience. Oh, you know what? Like, they actually missed this one area, or it didn't come out good in this one spot, or that light looked a little flickery, and you know what? He came back and he fixed it, no problem, and he wanted to make sure that I didn't pay anything extra, or it was minimal cost effect for whatever happened. Maybe they caused it. And maybe they caused the problem, and you were just like, no, you know what? I'll just come in, whatever, we'll fix it, and you make it as minimal as possible, or free, or whatever works for you, and then you just keep on going, and you make it something negative a good experience. So I would say, just that would be, you need to also, and I guess that kind of ties into everything that I was saying. You want to anticipate the needs of your client. You don't want to just react. You want to be transparent with your client. You want to make sure that they're because if you're transparent with them, chances are they're going to be transparent with you, and they can actually provide information versus always having their guard up, thinking that you're going to make a sale. This guy needs to make a sale because he's got quotas to meet, and he wants to have high revenue and all this, all this kind of stuff. I think importantly after that is not, as part of customer experience, not forgetting about the client after the job is done. Something that we are working on like crazy here is, once the project is done, we like to follow up, make sure that everybody's happy, stay in touch with the client over a period of time, making sure that we're just checking in. Hey, can we help you with anything? Hey, just wanted to check in. I know it's been XYZ amount of time. Just want to check on how the floor is doing. Are you guys happy? Can we be, can we service you in any way with the floor? Whatever. Just like genuinely checking in, making sure that they're happy, because it's their purchase, and I don't want anybody to live with any of our floors that hates it. Like, that's terrible, because then they're just like seething, and then every conversation they have about you is just like, negative. Like, you don't want that. So you want to check in, follow up, make sure that you're, and it's not even following up for more business. It's just following up to as if you would with a friend. You want to make them a friend. You don't want to make them just like a number, a digit, or, a sale or something like that. And I think the other part of that, like I said, we're working on is creating a process that gives the customer a premium experience all the time. Like that's huge for us, is making sure that we're providing an experience to the customer that we can replicate, and that is a premium experience that they would want to go and tell their friends about. And I think that that's very important for any business, anybody in general. If you're doing this as a side hustle, if you're, a painter as a side hustle, or if you're an electrician as a side hustle, or whatever, you want to make sure that every service that you can give, I think that's what my dad built our company on, is providing a premium service every single time. He went in and he made sure everything was, top notch, to where people felt silly not calling him back for another job. And we still have that standard today. It's very difficult to, it's harder to live up to as you grow, but we still have that standard today. And that's the other end of it, where we learned about fixing things. Because as you grow and you get more teammates and everything, gets bigger, sometimes things happen. Sometimes stuff slips through the cracks. And you just have to have the wherewithal to provide the experience of going back and fixing it the correct way, making sure that the customer is happy. So I think that in closing here, it's very important to distinguish customer service, customer experience, making sure that your customer service is, you're hitting the points, you're doing the things, you're, evaluating what needs to get done based on your past experiences. But the customer experience part is really what's going to differentiate yourself between anybody else that walks through the door, or anybody else that's in your industry, or whatever. It doesn't matter. You want to make sure that your customer is experiencing an incredible premium experience every single time, and you can develop a system, as we've talked about before on this podcast, develop a system and a process that makes that happen. And like I said, we're not perfect. We're in the process of developing these kind of systems, these kind of processes, these kind of experiences all the time. There's always room for improvement. And we'll, if I ever figure it out, I'll let you know, but I don't think I'm ever going to figure it out 100%. So, listen, thank you everybody for always tuning in, listening to what we have to say. Really, really appreciate it. If you could share, comment, that always really helps. Sharing the podcast out, sharing the reels that we cut up out. It really helps our movement. Ultimately, we want to be a resource for as many people as possible. We want to make as many friends in the industry and outside of the industry as possible. We're just looking to make an impact and help people and do what others have done for us, and just make some friends. So thank you again. See you next time.